So hi guys, welcome back again to Sports Kindle, and today we have someone who is really well known to us, and today we have Floyd Pinto, the former under 19 coach with us. Welcome sir to Sports Kindle and to Sports Talk for the very first time.
Thank you, Pramit.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you're welcome sir. Yeah, you're welcome sir. So sir, first of all, please tell us how are you feeling about like Euro started yesterday, and how are you feeling about the Indian team playing the like matches, like we won after I think after 2 years, so we won after 11 games. So how are you feeling? What are your feelings on that first?
Yeah, first and foremost, ever since I hope everyone is safe at home and taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
In this period, common sense should prevail, and including myself, it's not easy, to stay at home and be, cornered within four walls. But the only thing that has provided a little bit of respite is football. And ever since the Premier League got done, uh, the Champions League final was something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed a lot. Not just with watching the games, but with also the banter that goes on, on social media. So it helps that interaction. It keeps you alive. It keeps you active. And then came India's games, and as always, I'm a very keen follower of the Indian national team. Uh, Whenever I remember under Stephen Constantine and even under Igor Stimac, when they were in Kolkata and Stephen Constantine in Mumbai, I was a regular visitor to the camps, just to get to know what's going on at the back. So watching them play, watching our boys get back to playing competitive international games was a big high for me, and I've been following them ever since the Qatar match, and then uh, the game against Bangladesh. In fact, yesterday I even watched the Afghanistan-Oman game, just to get an idea of what we could come up against in the final league match. And then the Euros have started, so now the entire clock, the daily clock cycle has changed. Where the time you wake up, the time you have your meals, the time you go to sleep. So it's an exciting month ahead now.
Yeah, and the Copas are also going to start from 14th of this month. So
yeah. Wow, that's I can't, if there's something that I could give up, it would be the Copa, because it's too late for me.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it is like 3 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be very tough for everyone in India to
possibly
see
the knockout phases, or maybe a Brazil-Argentina game would be enough to keep me awake.
Yeah. So
but
my
good.
first.
Like football.
Yeah. So my first question to you will be, sir, coming into the young talents, because you have been in that camp of young talents since a long time and you know about the players and everything. So you have won the under 18 league twice, once as a coach and once as assistant coach on the another occasion. You have also witnessed the making of many youth prospects of our country in the current Indian team, whom you consider as the best young prospect and why.
Yeah. First of all, both those wins were as head coach.
Okay. I'm really sorry. Yeah. I'm really sorry.
One was under the leadership of Anirudh Thapara.
Okay.
And the second was under Edmund Ravandi.
Okay.
So, yeah, but in the current Indian national team, right? We talk about potential, we talk about what if, we talk about this player can make it. So it's high time we give praise to where it's due, to Suresh Singh, because it's not about potential at this point of time, it's about performances.
So, yeah.
You have to give credit to Suresh for not just breaking into the national team, but also becoming, slowly but surely becoming that one player you could say is first on the team sheet for Igor Stimac in every game. Be it in a defensive midfield position like we seen in the last game, or as a right back. He's just such an honest player, honest hard worker, so humble on and off the pitch, and he's performing week in week out. To play your second international game, in a row there, and provide an assist for Sunil Chetri for that second goal, it shows the character of the player. So, purely on the basis of the way he's performing, I think Suresh Singh is no more that promising talent, but he's past that, and now he has to just get his head down and nail that first team position and make it his.
Yeah.
He's been very impressive.
Yeah. My next question to you is, in the past Hero ISL season, we saw, midfielder from Northeast, who is Apuya, and he has, given a lot of potential. His performances have also, brought us to the, like eyes, and also he's been named in the, like the World Cup qualifiers matches also. He played also, so we saw him. So what do you think about of his tactical game sense? Because he's a young talent, but he has that game sense that what he should do. Like there are a lot of young talents who, gets overexcited and plays some doesn't give the performances which they should, but they have the talent and the potential, as you're saying. So but Apuya has
Yeah.
that control or some sense of that which we saw, because everyone is talking about his sense of ability about the game, that in this quite young mature time he's doing that. So what about him? What do you want, like,
Yeah,
what do you say?
you hit the nail bang on the head. Playing regularly for Northeast United the entire season, getting the amounts of minutes that he got, uh, it sort of brought out that quality that Apuya already had.
Yeah,
Having trained with the AFF, the World Cup team, and then the under
yeah,
19 squad, you could see that he was mature way beyond his age. And what something that we say that we lack in Indian football, in footballers, Apuya has that knack of receiving in tight spaces.
yeah,
Receiving under pressure, coming out of a tight situation and playing a forward pass as if though no one was there.
yeah,
And we talk about that head movement. An average player, uh, you know, uh, within 10 seconds would scan at least 8 to 10 times. Apuya does that, so he has that vision. He's grown up playing futsal in Mizoram, so that helps as well. So he's very good with his feet. And what we saw a glimpse of last season with Northeast United is his ability to get forward and score goals. The spectacular long range shot. And
yeah,
we've
yeah.
seen him score. We've seen him score a couple of goals like that in the youth football as well. So I think the more he plays, he will develop into that all-round midfielder that we are looking for. Someone like a Roland Borges, someone like an Anirudh Thapa, the ones who are doing it consistently for the national team.
Yeah.
I feel he has the potential to do so. So this camp will help the likes of Apuya, settle down, get to know what level is required at the national team, because it's not the same playing in the ISL and playing in the national team. But definitely the quality that he has will benefit the national team in the coming matches, maybe in the next camp going forward.
Yeah. My next question to you is about a left back from Hyderabad FC, who has impressed a lot, like Akash Mishra, and he has, he was like one of those guys which everyone was talking about, because the whole ISL season he played so well. Everyone was talking about who is he, like why we didn't see such talent, in the past few years. So please tell me something about Akash Mishra. What do you want to say about it?
Akash is he has this habit of making a very good first impression on whoever has a look at him. You know, it goes down to when we were with the Arrows and we
Okay.
played a practice game with the U Mumba team that was based in Germany, and they had come down to India, the U Dream project.
Yeah.
And he was probably the only guy who stood out at that point of time for us. A tall, lanky player, left-footed, and he was playing at centre back by that time.
Okay.
But we were confident that we could groom him as a centre back as well as a left back. So as soon as he came into the under 19 setup, you usually take time. You take time to settle down, get to know the players. Sometimes you're overawed by the experienced players. He came into the group with players like Rahul, KP, Narendra, Jitu, all these established, Amarjeet. So sometimes you can get overawed, but not him. He came straight into that first 11. It was not that the place was given to him. He earned that in the training sessions, because he's a naturally offensive-minded player. If you see him play for Hyderabad, as well as in the game against Oman and UAE, he's always on the front foot. He's always looking to, uh, force the opposition who has the ball, looking to overlap, looking to get forward, pass and move. And he's done that with the senior national team as well. The first call up to the camp, and then he immediately starts the game
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
Oman and UAE as well. So he's for me to define Akash, he is probably the best version of a modern day fullback that we can find in Indian football. And being a left footer, he's even more precious to us. So he's got tremendous repeated sprint ability. He can get up and down, and you rarely see him breathing heavily. So he's got everything there. Now with him, I say yes, potential, because there's a lot more that he needs to learn
Yeah.
in that position. To establish himself with the likes of Ashik, with the likes of Pippin,
Yeah.
and the players Subhashish who are playing in that position for many years. So, but he's a coach's dream. He learns very quickly. So a funny thing is, even when he was in the Arrows camp and he was getting offers for the ISL, and you come to know the intention and the dedication of the player. He wasn't concerned, you know, with the amount of money that he was getting. He was like, Coach, what do you think? Which club? So he had around 3 to 4 offers. He's like, Coach, what do you think? Which club will I get to play? So you get to know the intention of the player, and rightly enough, he chose Hyderabad apart from the other clubs, thinking that he's going to get playing time.
Playing time. Yeah. Yeah.
Playing time. And probably he never expected, and even I never expected him to start straight away and play every single game of every
Game.
minute,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
minute
Yeah.
of every single game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that shows the dedication. Uh, so he's another potential talent. I think he's going to benefit like Apuya in the senior national team camp, rubbing shoulders with experienced defenders, playing alongside Sandesh, playing alongside Sana, playing behind Ashik and Bipin. He will learn a lot. And he's only going to improve because the tools are there. Now it's just up to him to fine tune that and then execute it on the training pitch.
Yeah. So now I come to a question about our head coach of Indian national football team, Nicolas Stimac. So what do you think about Stimac and his performance as Indian head coach? Do you think he should be given extension?
Yeah, well, the extension is out of my thought process. But having followed the progress very keenly, the win against Bangladesh has now given us a good platform. We've got a good base now. You always try to get into the thought process of the coach and try to think what he's trying to do. And it was very clear that the style of play that we played against Bangladesh, and to be honest, the two games that we played against UAE, were very encouraging to see the players. We weren't a low block like we were against Qatar, and we weren't a high press like we were against Bangladesh in the last game. But against UAE, we were somewhere in the middle, and I think that is where the national team is going to play. So everyone's very disappointed about the last two games against UAE and especially against Oman. That he selected a lot of players, that young players. But I think if he didn't do that, we wouldn't find that listing. We wouldn't get an Akash Mishra.
Yeah.
Bipin wouldn't have got his debut. So although there were a lot of players in that squad, maybe who wouldn't make the cut for the AFC qualifiers, there were those few players who were able to train under him. He was able to see firsthand the scheme and the staff. And I think now with his set play, 12 to 13 players, you add an Akash, you add an Apuya, you add Bipin, it now looks a very strong unit. And I think moving forward from this Qatar and Bangladesh game, I don't think there are going to be too many changes. So I think he's now finally set with respect to the game plan, what he wants to do, the personnel that he needs in the national team. So I feel the next game against Afghanistan will show the progress that we've been making, but I definitely feel he will be there at the helm when we go into the AFC Asia Cup qualifiers and then hopefully make it to the Asia Cup. He will be there. That's my understanding.
The next match will be there, you are saying, till that time?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, after that, we can see someone else if there is a change.
Yeah, obviously, because, he's been building up to qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. So obviously, a good milestone to gauge him would be the Asia Cup, because that would have given him enough time to chop and change, enough time to decide on a style of play, enough time to decide the number of the players that he wants for the national team. And I'm hoping that this game against Bangladesh has given us
That,
a good idea. Yeah, that
yeah,
base. When you win, you know you've done something right and you found a base to work on. So the shape that we play, maybe personal changes will be there here and there. Roland to come in, Thapa to come in, like that. And I think going forward we'll have a good solid team moving forward. So we'll get to know, because there are many games to go before we qualify for the Asia Cup. So I think we'll do well in those games. We'll play well and we'll qualify for the Asia Cup, and then we can judge his performances post the Asia Cup.
yeah. So my next question to you is the match against Qatar, where Bheke did that deliberate, handball, or the Asian Cup match against Bahrain, where Pranay made that mistake that lead to penalty. Do you think it happens due to lack of match practice, or lack of quality, laziness? What is it like? As a coach, what do you think that mistakes happens, but in a platform like that, when you're doing such mistakes, it costs you the team. It costs the team. To what's your comment?
Yeah, if you look at it, both came against very high quality opposition, and that is the answer that I have, because I thought about it. It can't be lack of quality. It can't be lack of game time. It's just lack of playing against such high quality opposition.
Yeah.
So so if a player who's playing in a local Bombay league, tomorrow you put him in an ISL team and make him play, he's going to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
So it was Rahul Beke against possibly one of the best wingers in Asian football. Yeah, Hedos, Ali Hedos. And this is my opinion, but I don't think that first card was a yellow card.
I think that is obvious. Everyone is saying that.
It was the experience of Hedos to know he's coming, con the referee a little bit with his rolling around, that made the referee give him a yellow card. And then isolating Rahul, knowing that he's on a yellow card, so isolating him on a 1v1 situation, trying to get a foul out of him, eventually getting a handball. So it's that experience of playing against that quality. Which I think, that is what these players will eventually get, because playing that game against Oman, playing against UAE, that gives you that quality of opposition. Although we lost 6-0 and although we drew against Oman 1-1, you played against that quality opposition. We could have easily played against Nepal and Bhutan, but that's not going to help us. So that quality opposition, playing against them on a regular basis. One is at club level, which I think now with teams qualifying for the AFC Champions League, you get an idea of players who are able to step up to Asian level. And second, now in the build-up to the Asia Cup, playing against quality teams like Qatar, UAE, and hopefully in the next rounds and in the Asia Cup, you're going to play against the big guns in Asia.
Yeah.
These games will be of huge benefit for our players, because that is where they understand the level at which they need to be. So it's not a lack of quality, but it's just a lack of not playing these teams on a regular basis, which I think we need, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah. So, sir, in the game against Bangladesh, in the Bangladesh game, even though India won 2-0, but there was a lot of missed chances. That I was also, mentioning on that. Yeah, there were a lot of, chances we miss out. So, what do you think the team should do to improve this? Like, Chhetri missed that header, which we saw. It could have been a goal. It could have been 3-0 as well, and Chhetri doing the wonders. So, what do you think? Like, I think we won it, but we missed few chances. It could have been more. It was to in the end of the game, but we missed quite a few in the first half or in the second half starting. So what's your call on
that? The solution would be to clone Brandon and make 2 Brandons play on the pitch. So instead of 8 clear-cut chances, we'll have 16 clear-cut chances. But that guy was brilliant. I had to mention him. He should have had at least 5 assists, 4 to 5 assists on the day. So it's okay. And we are creating chances. The important thing is that we are creating chances. We are getting on the end of the balls that Brandon is putting
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
And it's just a matter of time that we do it against better oppositions and
Yes, yes,
eventually score.
yes.
What I liked about that game was we knew I never thought that India would keep a clean sheet, considering how we played against Bangladesh in the Salt Lake. But the change in shape when Stimac went to the back three, it automatically negated any chance that Bangladesh could create. I don't think Gurpreet was ever tested throughout the entire game.
Yeah, yeah.
But apart from that, what was good to see was that it was well structured. Everybody knew their role. Bipin, Udanta in the first half knew their role, and we kept the ball well, and we got better as the game went on. And whenever Brandon had the ball, you could see gaps opening up. So I don't think it's a concern that we're not finishing, but we are creating chances, which is a positive. So if we keep creating these chances again and again against oppositions like Bangladesh and Afghanistan next, I think we will get on the end of it for sure.
Yeah. So coming back to the next question, sir, it's something like related to the strikers of the team now. So whom do you think India should play as a striker? Should India persist with Manveer or Ishan? Should be given more chance? What do you think about that? Like Manveer is getting chance, Ishan is, but still, what do you think about that? That whom should we give him more chance?
Oh, yeah. So what I've seen from the change in shape now, which now enables us to play two strikers up front, I think it's going to be good for us. One, in the sense because it gets the best out of Chetri. If you see both the goals, Mandi's movement and Liston's movement enables Chetri to find space.
Find space, yeah. That happens.
Find space, and he's now mastered the art of finding space inside the penalty box, and then he gets a chance. You give him a chance, he'll score. So, what was the difference? I think Manvi is good in the sense because he gives us that focal point.
Yeah.
He gives us that depth. He occupies both the center backs, with his presence, and he's speedy. He's getting in the right positions. It's only a matter of time where he starts, being a little bit more effective with his finishing. That's there. Liston came on in the second half, and he was a catalyst to the goal as well. He held the ball up, similar to what Manbir should be doing. He played the ball to Suresh, the pass before the assist, and which Suresh played it to Chetri again. So first of all, playing those two strikers up front, I think, is going to help us because we talk about who's going to be the next Chetri. For me, just enjoy Chetri.
Yeah.
Sunil Chetri is playing at such a high level right now. Just enjoy him. It's like talking about who's going to be the next Messi and Ronaldo. There's never going to be a next Messi.
Next Messi, Ronaldo,
Sunil Chetri.
Chetri.
So
Yeah.
enjoy him playing. And now with us playing an extra striker with him up front, it gives the opportunity to the likes of Manveer and Liston, as Igor has put him in, and even the likes of Ishan or whoever else could be there and capable of playing as a second striker to showcase themselves. Because I think Manveer did a decent job. He did his job. Liston came on, was an impact sub. He made an impact. He contributed to the goal. So everything was positive going into the next game against Afghanistan. But I definitely feel that change in shape will not only get the best out of Chetri because it will have support, but it will also help that second striker, solidify his place in the national team and getting that all important game time. We talk about our strikers not getting game time in the ISL and in the I League, but when it comes to the national team, if Chetri is going to play as a number 9, when are we going to get our next striker? So now with two strikers up front, it gives us a good opportunity to see the upcoming strikers playing alongside Chetri.
So my question to you, the next question is something related to the next match, as you were mentioning it throughout the chat now about the Afghanistan game. So please tell us what will be your thoughts that, okay, how should we possess? Because we won the game last, against Bangladesh. Now we are on the pitch of right mind zone, as you say that, okay, we are in the perfect mind zone. We have done something right. So what more right, the team should do, and how should we plan? Like, should we attack, or should we be on the balance side, or should we only defend again? What's your call on that?
No, I think we should aim to play exactly the way we played against Bangladesh. On the front foot, I think the shape will suit the game against Afghanistan. Now the question will arise, because when I saw the game yesterday, the Afghans are a very intense unit. Uh, Whether it be defending or whether it be on the counter attack, they are super aggressive, and they work so well as a team, and they work so well against each other. So definitely, what's going to be different from Bangladesh is they are not going to let us keep the ball that easily. There's going to be much more pressure on us. So, are we capable? Are we confident enough of keeping the ball under that pressure, which will define how much we control the game? We have the players. We got the right shape now. So, if we keep the ball well, there's enough space in that Afghanistan defensive structure for us to exploit, for the likes of Chetri, for the likes of Brandon, for the likes of Manveer, Ashik Udanta, whoever plays on the wing. There's enough space for them to create a chance on goal because of the way Afghanistan press. And the second aspect would be, can we contain them? Because as they defend, they don't defend passively. They defend very aggressively. So as they defend, they're always looking to counter. There's always at least 2 to 3 players up front ready to counter and combine. And then the midfielders join in quickly. So can we contain that? Can we contain that? And can we limit their chances on our goal? So it's going to be a step up from the Bangladesh game, definitely. Like I said, we have that base now, which we need to improve against Afghanistan. Definitely, Igor will have a few tactical changes, maybe a few personnel changes for the Afghanistan game. But having played the Bangladesh game, I think we are much more set for Afghanistan than we would be before. Yeah. And the last but not the least is Afghanistan are very poor on set pieces, especially defending set pieces. And we got a goal against them in the last time we played them. So I think we can exploit that. The amount of clear-cut headers we got against Bangladesh, if we get that against Afghanistan, I think we should score. Yeah. So it's looking to be a very exciting encounter, because I'm more encouraged to see how India steps up against Afghanistan. But having watched the game yesterday between Afghanistan and Oman, I know it's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it, because I didn't know when that 90 minutes got over yesterday, because Afghanistan and Oman just went at it for 90 minutes. It was such an encouraging game, such an exciting game to watch. And I think that's going to be the game against India as well.
India as well.
So yeah. I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So, sir, before we end, like my last question, but last few questions, 1 to 3 questions I have from my personal, thoughts that how we are going. As I remember that when we had a talk last time over the, chat, and when we, detailed that onto the, the interview which we had with you, which I had with you. I asked you the question that are we going to the right direction? So currently looking forward to this situation, that is Indian football, like, yeah, it will take some time, obviously. If not steam match, we will have someone. So what do you think, that are we going to that direction? Okay, now 2026 or after that, but yeah, will that day come where we are going, like everyone, speaks up, okay, we are doing good, kind of investments coming in India from outside as well, like Manchester City Group, they are investing in Mumbai City FC, and we are getting the likes of Bipin Singh and everyone now, like the players which we are seeing in ISL doing so well, everyone is called up. So now a set of 30 players, a kind of a 30-man squad we have built up. We want to rotate between these 30 people, and we want to see how much everyone, gives the potential, how much everyone is learning and we are coping up with. So what's your thought that, okay, and as you are, you were with the setup of this under 19 or young talent, where the young talents needs to be encouraged and young talent needs to, have that amount of ideology. Okay, we can, as an Indian team, when we will in the senior team, we should also do these things. So what's your take that? Are we going to the right direction of that with the young talent, with the talent, like experienced players and everything? What's your call on that?
The one thing that we get excited too quickly, we get to a certain stage, and then we immediately think about the next. Yeah. Now, a lot of us think about qualification for the World Cup. Yeah, I agree. Okay, it's in the long run. But for us, playing regularly in the Asia Cup is a priority. a lot of now, given that the Asia Cup format has been expanded, everyone's saying, qualifying for the Asia Cup is a given. I don't think so, because the amount of, if I could say, the amount of uncertainty that was there in the public in the build-up to the Bangladesh game. If, for example, in the playoff we play against, a Nepal, and suddenly we'll be uncertain again.
Yeah.
And what if we lose? What if we lose there? So I don't. It's not it's not a given. Yes, we should be there in every Asia Cup henceforth. That should be the target at least. But it's not an easy road. It's not a given. You have to qualify for it. But now, since we've qualified for the Asia Cup, everybody is like, no, now we need to qualify for the World Cup. No, we've qualified for the Asia Cup. The next step should be getting into the latter stages of the Asia Cup.
Yeah.
That's the more logical step. That would, in turn, enhance our ranking in Asian football. And the higher the ranking that we get in Asian football, the better opportunity our clubs get, to play in the AFC Champions League and AFC Cup. Imagine in a few years' time, if we do really well, having 2 slots in the AFC Champions League, 3 slots in the AFC Cup. That would enable more of the teams, from the ISL and I-League to play in the AFC competition. That is what is going to improve these players. We talk a lot about FC Goa. They played so well. The likes of Dheeraj, the likes of Glenn Martins, who emerged from the AFC Champions League, just because the way they played against quality opposition.
Yeah.
So we definitely are headed in the right direction. The AIFF, youth system has been set for quite some time, especially with the AFC competitions and then the Indian Arrows in the I-League. I think that's a very good ladder or a structure for players to progress through the AFC to the AIFF national team ranks, the youth national team ranks, before making it into ISL or the I-League. So that structure is pretty set. Very positive with the likes of City Football Group coming in. Now Odisha FC even tying up with David Villa's group.
Yeah.
So there is that expertise coming into Indian football, which is helping clubs grow in a sustainable manner, and which is also helping clubs get a lot of expertise as to how things are done, maybe in a similar format like the MLS or in the Premier League. So that is only going to help Indian football grow, because all the players need is exposure to these kind of situations. And for me, it's very exciting time to be a player. It's a very exciting time to be a coach in Indian football, because you're learning a lot from experienced coaches. You're learning a lot as a player, playing with international players and playing alongside experienced Indian players. And with the national team now playing more and more games, playing in the World Cup qualification, qualifying for the Asia Cup, trying to get into the latter stages of the Asia Cup. And you never know that gap from now till 2026, which is an expanded World Cup again. So you're going to have double the number of slots to qualify for the World Cup. But it's not a given again.
Yeah.
That hard work that we put into the preparation for the Asia Cup, and then after that, is going to help us bridge that gap, because I think we are now around 13, 14 or 15 in Asia, somewhere there. So ideally the slots for the next World Cup would be top 8 plus 1. So we need to ideally be there in the top 10, which is difficult. It's not that easy to bridge that gap. So a lot of hard work and a lot of progress needs to be made, but it will happen slowly but surely. So the only thing for me is we shouldn't get too excited about what's happening, but we should be quietly confident that it's heading in the right direction. So I'm really pumped up with what's happening in Indian football. It's slow, but it's definitely moving.
Yeah, the process is on. Like I say the process is on. Yeah. No, nothing has come so easy. Like if you say, like people say, we compare about from cricket to football. So I also say, look, Indian cricket has also, not been this position since, after 2000, we saw what happened, like the transition period comes in. So this is one of the transitions period. So we will also be heading towards that, and we can also be someday, on that position. So we need to, we don't want to forget anything. We have to, earn that. And my last question to you, yes, sir, yeah, please.
One thing that I'd like to add, Pramit, that is we need consistency.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to see that certain now ISL clubs are having coaches beyond 2 to 3 years.
Yes, that is more important.
Which will in turn, help that club have a definite style of play and a continuous process. And we need that same for the national team as well. So if we have any doubt about selecting a coach, it should be in the selection process. Yeah. Once the coach is selected, we should give him the time to
at least a given time. That I also
execute his game plan. And especially with respect to the national team, it's very difficult because you don't get the amount of time to work with the players.
Yes.
And every bit of experimentation you do is criticized. Yeah. So I feel for Igor. That is why I said, he should be judged on the basis of qualifying for the Asia Cup and then the performance in the Asia Cup, which would have given him enough time and enough opportunity for players to showcase themselves under his regime. So that's a small thing I would like to add. Consistency with respect to players, coaches, and not only coaches, players getting long-term contracts.
Yeah.
Rarely do you see now, having been involved in the I-League, we try to get players around. None of them are free players. Everybody is under contract with someone or the other, which is encouraging to see. So it's good for the players, it's good for the clubs and the entire ecosystem as well.
Yeah, no, I would like to mention one thing here. So as you said about the coach, everyone is, there's a negativity around, Igor Stimac, the extension and everything. But what we saw in the last match when Chhetri scored that the second goal, he straight away went to Igor Stimac. Now that gives us sort of what I understood from that is, the team might back, we don't know what the captain of the team or the team is thinking. Because if you say, we don't, really see Indian footballers speaking a lot about these all things. What I saw is about from a sports person point of view, that when I saw Virat Kohli giving a statement that what everyone is thinking outside, if we started as a sports person, if we start thinking that, then we are not going to do anything. Then we are also going to, be in that negative zone. So what we think it is about the whole team, as a management, what we think it is about our responsibility of the nation, that we are doing something and we want to play. Same I saw about Sunil Chhetri. He also mentioned somewhere that, not about Stimac obviously, but he also mentioned about Indian football once on a chat that, no, what we are doing currently is the right process. We should follow it. We should not criticize anyone, neither the players, nor the coaches, nor the management, because it's a process. In this process, many negativity will come, but what the positives we can get out of it, that is more important. So as I also understood very lately that we are criticizing Stimac, but what if he has got a time of 2 to 3 years now, he's been in this camp. Now, if he is now understanding and everyone is saying, we should let him go, Now, when the new guy will come up, now again, you will give him 2 to 3 years. After that, again, you will say, bye, you're not doing anything. Nothing is, there are no results. So you may go. What Contestant did was, he was for 5 years, I think 5 to 6 years. And he has, he has grown with that team. He saw the, groups of the players. He saw the emerging of ISL, what the ISL is. And, ISL grew up and everything, like you said, the clubs grew up. So he saw all of that. Suddenly we let him go. And he went. Now Stimac came in. Now we are saying, okay, Stimac, you go. Now, who is the next? My last question to you is, if Stimac is released, after this, who do you think, at least minimum 5 years, first of all, if we see, as I'm a fan of Indian football, I will say, please keep anyone for 5 years. Let's see what happens. Now, there is nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. We are not going to play the World Cup in 22. We are planning for 26. If not 26, 30. But let's keep someone for a long term. Let's see what he's doing. So what's your thought process on that? And whom should we keep after this? Who can be that man?
That's the thing, Pramit. I don't want to look beyond Igor Stimac at this point.
Yes, because he can do wonders. He can do wonders.
Yeah.
We don't know.
You look at the way the players are responding, the way the players are playing, the camaraderie in the camp. I don't see, when we are in our zone, when we are preparing for games, we always encourage the players to say, let's keep everything within this family of ours.
Yeah.
Nothing goes out, nothing goes
in. Yeah.
Because that's when the the negativity creeps in. and it's very easy for players to get distracted and think about things that are happening off the pitch. But I think uh, we have a responsibility. I there are fans that talk a lot.
Yeah.
Then I come from a community of coaches, because having been
Coaches.
involved in the sport
Yeah.
and still involved in the sport, so we have that responsibility to understand what's going through Igor Stimaic's mind, and trying to dissect what he's trying to do. And the more I do it, the more I feel that yes, he requires a little bit more time,
Yeah.
and this is not the time to judge him. So, like I said, and I'll still stick by it. Maybe we do an interview with you once we finish the Asia Cup, and then we say, okay,
Yeah.
does Igor Stimac
Yeah.
stay or
Yeah.
not?
Not.
That
Yeah.
would be an ideal time, and that would be even me as a coach. I wouldn't hold myself back from saying, yeah, maybe he's had his time, and he can't, or yes, he's done really well, and he should move on. He should take us to the next World Cup qualifying campaign as well. So, I just don't want to think about it. It shouldn't be talked about at this point of time. The only thing that should be a priority right now is beating Afghanistan, finishing in third place, looking forward to the next phase of the AFC Asia Cup qualifying round, get through that and make it to the Asia Cup, and then plan that solid schedule, play against good teams. Because once you qualify for the Asia Cup, there are a lot of teams that will look at you in a different manner. So the bigger teams will want to play you. They will want to, get a game against you. So
Yeah, they want to face you.
help us prepare against. Yeah, that will help us prepare ourselves against the bigger teams. Like I said, the way we played against the UAE, the way we played against Oman in all the three games, the two competitive games and the friendly, it shows us that if we have that first 11 or first 13, 14 players fully fit, we can go toe to toe with them. In the sense that not a high pressing game, but not a low block as well, somewhere in between, where we can actually give them a good game. And I feel we are there at that point of time. So playing against the likes of Oman and the teams in that bracket, once we qualify for the Asia Cup, will give us a good indication of how we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
So I'm for me, it's not about, like I said, thinking about who's going to succeed Sunil Chetri. No, I'm just enjoying him playing every single
Yeah.
game, because
Yeah.
he's such a season. His energy is so infectious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's same with the national team with Igor Stimac. I'm not bothered about whether he's going to stay or not. I'm just looking forward to how he's shaping this team and how he's getting the players to, win matches for us now. Hopefully, we've got that base against Bangladesh, and we can carry forward that to Afghanistan in the next qualifying round as well.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
It was really nice talking to you. And yes, as you mentioned, we will definitely talk after the Asian Cup, like after India plays all those matches, because then we will talk about what Igor Stimac should be done and everything. This is not the right time. I also feel that. I also personally now feel, at least after the last statement gave by Sunil Chetri when he went to Igor Stimac, that was a statement to everyone. I think the fans and everyone around the country, that you can speak anything about anyone, about the camp and everything, that why 30 players are selected, why there are so many changes, why Stimac is here, throw him out. But he gave a statement as a captain that I am the captain of this team. I lead this team from a long time now, and I know what should be done, like whom should we keep, whom should we not. And he has that statement also. He gave, like, that was a statement. It was not so much talked about, but I felt it as a statement that no, he is going to stay there. And after that only these talks came out that no, everyone is now thinking no, I think Stimac is going to stay. The management has or the team has also decided no, we are moving to a direction now. Someone will come, he will now change it. What can happen? We don't know what will happen after that. So the change should not be done before the Asian Cups at least. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.